Hello and welcome to the video. This is a very quick look at two new products from AKK. Now, for those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I've had quite a few things in from AKK. They're one of those Chinese manufacturers that have been manufacturing for other vendors that we know and love and have decided to start selling directly to the public. Now, these are two of the latest video transmitters I've got in here to have a quick look at. The first one, the smaller one, is the AKK Race VTX, and the other one is the AKK FX2 Dominator. So the first one we'll look at here is this AKK Race VTX. This is a very small, lightweight race video transmitter and is less than $10. This one only runs on 5 volts, so you're going to make sure you want to have a nice 5 volt regulator somewhere inside your model. Has smart audio support. Also on board has a microphone, so it'll do audio out if that's your thing. It has outputs for 5 volt cameras. That's a 300 milliamp hour maximum output, so that'll be fine for most cameras, but it's not going to run something like a Runcam Split. Output power on this, it had pit mode, 25 and 200 milliwatts. The antenna connector is MMCX. The board itself weighs about 3.5 grams, and the antenna adapter, which is SMA, which I'm very pleased to see because all of my stuff is kind of Fat Shark compatible, weighs about 5 grams. So all up with the adapter and the board itself, it's about 8.5 grams. Cable connections are solder pads, dimensions about 20 by 25 millimeters, and it comes with all the cables already installed on it. But if you wanted to make your own custom cable runs, it's not going to be too tricky at all. It's very easy to desolder the ones that come on the board. So this is pretty handy for those of you that want a cheap and cheerful race VTX. The AKK stuff I've had in so far has been quite good, and this for less than $10 is a really inexpensive option for those of you that want to have a go. Just be aware it only runs on 5 volts, so you're going to have a nice healthy 5 volt regulated power supply somewhere on your model. The other video transmitter is this thing here. This is the AKK FX2 Dominator. Now this is a much bigger VTX with an awful lot of heat shrinks on the top. It is quite a chunky beast, but it should be because this one is designed for long range in inverted commas, so it has a heck of an output power. So different specs on this one from that little race VTX we've just looked at. This one will support 7 to 26 volts, so pretty much from a 2S up battery you're going to be able to plug it directly into that to power it, which I find is very handy. Has smart audio support. This one has 250, 500, 1000 and 2000 milliwatt settings, so it'll go everywhere from 250 up to a whacking 2 watts of power. Now that in most places is just going to be too much, and for the majority of people this isn't going to be a legal video transmitter. But if you're lucky enough to live in somewhere where you can run 250 or even up to 2000 milliwatts, it's going to give you an awful lot more range. Power supply out on this thing, 5 volts out to run a camera, this time half an amp of power to run your camera, so not quite, I would say, in Runcam Split territory. I'd still be wary of running something like that from it, but pretty close. Cable connectors on this are quite nice. This is a JST connector. I tend to use those inside a lot of my models for auxiliary power, and things like the ZOHD models come with a JST flying lead out of the battery connector as well, so you can just plug all that in, so that's a nice touch. Dimensions on this, it's a standard 36 by 36 millimeter with a 30.5 millimeter mounting hole, so this is designed to go on top of a traditional size flight control stack. Weight is a whacking 9.6 grams, but then you're going to add another 5 grams on for the flying lead, so I would bet on at least 15 grams just in the power setup here. So this is the first VTX that I've had in that's been specifically designed for these really high powers, and all of these heat sinks around it mean that you're going to have to make sure it's mounted in some decent airflow, particularly if you're going to try and run it at the 1000 or 2000 milliwatt settings. For the majority of people this isn't going to be legal, but for those of you that want to push the envelope with 5.8 gigahertz FPV, then this is absolutely an option. So hopefully that's been interesting for those of you that have been looking at these on the website, and now you can see what comes in the box. And also we now have an option for a really cheap and cheerful race VTX with smart audio support, as well as something for those of you that really want to push the distance. Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support, and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organise all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlist around iNav. So thanks again for watching and happy flying.